How is it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And welcome to this wonderful, wonderful live stream. I'm joined with my buddy over here to my right-hand side. This is the incredible Curtis Finlay, Clover Press. Oh, yes, of Clover Press. And from the Marvel Epic Podcast.
I forgot to change that. Usually, I had just had that on from my last live stream that I did on the Clover Press YouTube channel. Clover Press is a small book publisher. They're fairly new, started by the guys who started IDW Comics, and so I've been doing a lot of work with them recently. And I run their YouTube channel as well, just do a few live streams. But you all know me from the Epic Marvel podcasts. And I'm happy to be here to talk about Epic Collections. As you know, I am a huge fan of Epic Collections, and I have a Facebook group devoted to them. If you search for Epic Collections on Facebook, and yeah, we're going to talk about 21 books today, 3 months worth of Epic Collections, 7 books for each month, plus an extra bonus book. So actually 22 books we'll be talking about today.
And we have some the cover to unveil that we didn't get to unveil the last time that we did this because the cover hadn't been approved yet. And speaking of approval, a big thank you to David Gabriel and everybody in his group that helps put this together, that gets me the images, the content, and to give you all an early look before the catalog, before it's amazing. Before the solicits, before retailers can even order. And I know some retailers watch. Thank you all for watching, and then email me later. Hey, Omar, when is this coming out again? And thank you to Curtis for putting the slideshow together. Like, he's not just only an amazing guest to have, but he takes a lot of the workload. And I really appreciate that. It means the world to me. Really quickly, we have a super chat. Thank you so much. Modern Era Epic Predictions, 2006 Miss Marvel run, the Gargan Venom, the Mac Gargan Saga, the ASM Brand New Day, a modern event line that will start covering Annihilation and Civil War. Well, we are all going to find out today. This, by the way, is the link to the Clover Press YouTube channel. James,
Thanks, James,
forever our Oracle. And then this is the link to Curtis's Epic Collection Speculation Discussion, Admiration, and Obsession Facebook group. Well, you guys are nuts. Where they keep friendly conversations going about the Epic Collections and what's to come. Curtis usually posts there. I know Phil is here, and Phil, we have 2 Phils. We have probably more than 2 Phils. Sorry about that. We could also have Philip Schmidt. How dare I? But this guy right here, I just saw him earlier. He was the first one here. Where is he? Now I'm having a hard time going back. Philip Ayers, big shout out to him, who puts the stuff together in the Facebook group.
Yeah, exactly. So as we announce them, he puts up the slide in a separate thread so people can have ongoing discussions about the content of that book and such. So yeah, thanks to Phil for doing that. He also proofs my slide deck the night before to make sure I don't have
any strikes this time. All right, so it's on you and Phil. I'm going to give 1 strike to you and 1 to Phil for every mistake made. Smash that like button. Thank you so much, BB. Or else the Epic line gets canceled. This is a lot of fun, and the fact to have you all here live and watching it as we're premiering these is really cool because I know, people are excited. And the other thing I like to stress is that if you don't see the book you wanted in here, then there's always the next time, and it will come. And I know there's books in here that a lot of people have wanted. I know people are in the chat. I'm seeing already what people, some of you are right, and then some of you are maybe next time. My dream announcements would be at least 1 volume of Miller Daredevil, Simonson Store, Byrne, FF, Stern, ASM, but I don't think those will happen today. Well, Epic, is this what you guys call yourselves? Epic heads? Epic heads. Let the mayhem and mirth begin. And we love you, Omar and Curtis. Not all heroes wear capes. And since my buddy Curtis is from Canada, I did want to, again, remind people that we do have a sponsor now in Canada if you're interested in buying books at a discounted price. Because we've been wanting one for a long time, and it's finally coming. That is bdcosmos.com. So if you're interested in purchasing books at a discounted price, BD Cosmos is the way to go. And that is bdcosmos.com. And they also have a store. Let me make sure I got the name right. All right. They have a physical store in Montreal, Quebec, but their website is bdcosmos.com. You get 25% off your order of $99 or more. It's Canadian dollars, of course. Free shipping everywhere in Canada for every $200 or more spent. Let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you're added automatically to a monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers. Don't be afraid to call or email them, and that's bdcosmos.com. So if you're looking for discounted prices, people have asked me where to go in Canada, and now I got a place to send them. That's awesome.
Hey, I'll check them out too.
As well as you should. As well as you should. Oh, Collective Memories saying BD Cosmos is awesome. I order from them all the time. Are we epic cans or epic cans? I love that. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. The discount code word is maple syrup. Maybe one day, Otis. Okay. You know what's funny? When Melanie pre-recorded the little blurb we play on our pre-recorded video, she was like, "Is it offensive to say A?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what's offensive anymore. You're asking the wrong person." But let's just say no, it's not. It's Kurtis approved, so we'll blame him.
It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, you're so laid back. All right, welcome to the Marvel Epic Collections, November of 2024. To January 2025. We are talking about January of 2025. I know you've seen Omni announcements for January of 2025, and now you're going to get your first taste or your early look at the Epic Collections in 2025. What's up, Shonda Sook? How are you, my brother? Epicureans. Sounds a little more fancy. Omar,
yeah, that's the kind of the one we use.
You want me to start No, not today. Not today. I'm all good, man. I got a sick home, like a sick kid at home, but other than that, I'm good. But thank you for that. I'm sorry about the last time, man. All right, Kurtis, I'm gonna let you drive, buddy, and then we're gonna go ahead and start. We can talk about each one.
Okay, so this is November 2024 to January 2025. Let's see here, but first, here's the cover reveal for Star Wars Legends Epic Collection, The New Republic, Volume 8. We didn't have this cover before. We just got it. This was my number one pick when I was looking through all of the covers of which one would I choose for a cover for this volume, and this is the one. It's very cool. Jedis, just like it looks like on the moon. I know I was going to say Jedis in space, but they're all in space. So that, but it just looks cool with the spacesuit or whatever.
Jedis in space? What? What nonsense are you talking about? But we've already announced this one, but we're just looking at the cover for the first time.
Yeah, this one's coming in October. And this is also significant because this is the last of the Star Wars Dark Horse material Epic Collections. So that's very cool.
That's it. No more.
Yeah, no more. The only thing that they haven't collected is stuff that is licensed elsewhere, like manga and all ages content. It's somewhere else.
That's great. Oh yeah, that's right. Because Kiyasamiya's adaptation, what Dark Horse brought over, right? So I assume the same license applies to Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but I don't. Yeah. Okay, so we had a surprise drop in our laps, and they added a book to the August schedule. And so we're going to take a look at that book.
To clarify really quick, when they were asking me on my Saturday live stream if I have any hints, I said, yeah, no Venom. I still stand by that statement.
No Venom. Okay, no Venom. Deadpool and Cable. Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 1, Ballistic Bromance. This is the second Deadpool Modern Era Epic Collection line, and they both have bromance in the title. So,
well, we have
you go.
Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Yep, and then this one, Deadpool and Cable.
Now, this is my all-time favorite Deadpool. Like, I love Fabian Nicieza. I love this story. It means a lot to my wife, too. She really enjoys it. Rob Liefeld does the covers for the first 6 issues, but the internal art is done by Mark Brooks, and then Patrick Zurcher eventually taking over the book for a while, but has that anime flair because Udon Studios at the time was sometimes inking and then sometimes coloring the book. And yep, I absolutely love this run. It is my favorite Deadpool run, and I just love the chemistry between him and Cable in this. It's great all the way to the end. And these trade paperbacks have been out of print for a while. They were complete collections. I think there were a series of 3 of them, which I assume they're going to rebrand as modern epics, and who knows what will happen afterwards. Because Cable and Deadpool's paths cross again after this, especially during the Colin Yost era of X-Force and like the Second Coming and all that. That is a Rob Liefeld cover though, and he is retiring from the character, as we all saw on the news yesterday.
We'll see how long he can stay away. I think he loves that character too much.
It's like every rock band, right? This is our last tour until the next one.
Until the next one. This was collecting Cable and Deadpool numbers 1 to 18, a straight shot through 18 issues, and this is exactly the same as the first complete collection.
How important to the X books is Deadpool and Cable? It's its own little thing. As a matter of fact, any crossover it ever had, Fabian Nicieza just did something goofy with it. It didn't matter what anybody else was doing. Like Civil War, he was doing his own thing. The whole House of M thing, he did his own little thing. It's not really, the big events aren't affecting this book until the last about 10 issues or so. But no, you don't need to read any other X-Men. I love Liefeld. Oh, I'm also a fan. I'm also a big fan of Liefeld's art.
Some people are noting that the title has been rearranged. The title of this epic collection isn't Cable and Deadpool like the series was called. It's Deadpool and Cable, of course, because marketing-wise, Deadpool is the bigger seller for sure, which maybe he wasn't in 2004. I'm not sure. But
I know when the Omnibus came out, that was the first time they rebranded it to Deadpool and Cable.
That's right. Yeah, this isn't a new thing.
But they also rebranded X-Force to Deadpool, and X-Force 2, X-Force Volume 2 is
right.
X-Force. Hoping for some venom. Some man just want to watch the world burn. Oh my gosh, you just got the Dynamite Thundercats. I'm waiting on my copy, and Liefeld cover. Liefeld still, yeah, I heard that was one of the most well-ordered books this year so far, or in the last like 10 years. They got some ridiculous number.
Okay, should we move on to oh yeah, we have a full cover to show you.
So that's
the Mark Brooks art.
No, that's actually Patrick Searcher.
Oh, is that Searcher? Nice.
Yeah, like I said, it was because they wanted to keep that Mark Brooks look going, but he wasn't fast enough to be a monthly artist. Patrick Searcher's like, I'll do it, and you can color me like animes. And he did, man. And he was on there for a while. And then I think who ended up doing it last was was it Riley? I think it was Riley Brown. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now we can get into the November Epic Collections. We're going to start off with the reprint that we've previously announced. Captain America, Volume 16, Streets of Poison, coming in November. This is going to be a new edition.
That is the cover. And I hope when we get to the Omnibus that we get this cover used. I love that cover. That's the Ron Lim and ink by Jim Lee cover. It's just very freaking awesome.
I think, if I remember correctly, the original comic cover of this reversed the order of the colors on the stripes, so it was like red on the bottom.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and they corrected it for this when they recolored this cover.
Oh wait! Have you seen the Jay Lee Thundercats homage cover to Jim Lee's X-Men #1? Oh yes, I have. Oh my gosh, all these covers.
Jay Lee's doing some pretty cool covers.
Crazy, man.
I like his Gargoyles covers that he's been doing.
Yeah. Lots of Cap reprints. That's right. Remember to come and vote on the Marvel Epic reprint poll. Now, if you're new to this channel or new to what we do every year, we let you all, because this is a democracy, we let you all vote on what Marvel should reprint. And holy crap, they have reprinted I think just 19 out of the 20. Well, I gave him the top 25, and I think it's like 23 out of the 25 from last year. We've been doing it for a couple of years. This year, we're going to do something a little bit different. This year, Kurtis and I are going to kickstart the poll live. We're going to explain to everybody how to vote, and because Peter M. and I with Taylor Talks Comics are going to kickstart the Marvel Omnibus reprint poll next Thursday. So Kurtis and I will pick a day to do it, and everybody join in, and we can talk about the books that are out of print, and then you all choose whatever you all want to. You vote the way you want to. We haven't decided on a date yet for the Epic. The 15th is when we do the Marvel Omnibus one. So I'll get with Kurtis and see when we can get together. Yes, we've already announced this one. We announced this one whenever we said these are the Epic reprints, because we had that full list. But now we got the whole list of the months.
Okay, so we also have previously announced this one, but it was taken off the schedule and delayed, and now it's back on the schedule for November. This is Star Wars Legends Epic Collection, the original Marvel years, droids, and Ewoks. So I previously said that the other Star Wars we just mentioned was the last Dark Horse. This is the last Star Wars classic Star Wars Epic Collection that we're going to get. It's the remainder of the Marvel content, and I don't think we're going to get any more Legends after this. Unless we reprint. They'll start doing some reprints. This has been collected in Omni before, and they even did a smaller trade paperback with the first few issues of Ewoks, and so this is material that just keeps on coming back. For John Romita fans, John Romita did a number of the issues in this book.
You gotta really like Star Wars.
What's kind of cool is that there's a 3-part. So this is an all ages kids book under the Star Comics line from the 80s. So it was made because of the Droids cartoon series and the Ewoks cartoon series, and so they're very cartoony. They're not serious, except when the sales started to lag. The Droids Marvel comic they changed, and the last 3 issues is an adaptation of Star Wars A New Hope, except from the point of view of the droids. So that's a kind of a cool one.
John Romita Jr., you mean on Ewoks and Droids, or was it Senior?
Senior. John Romita Senior.
So Droids was the adaptation of the movies told from the point of view of the droids. Interesting. Okay.
That's what I just said. Yeah, exactly.
Once you get volume 1, you got to get them all. Is that Cable and Deadpool the same run as the Omnibus? Yes, that is the exact same run as the Omnibus.
Yeah. Okay, we can move on to the next one here.
Here we go.
Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Volume 28, Web of Life, Web of Death. People were wondering if they were going to continue the collecting the Clone Saga in its entirety or skip over some of the issues and just collect the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. Well, it looks like we are going to go through it in its entirety. This isn't exactly it's not exactly the same mapping as those early complete epics, because they took out what was they called, the Lost Years miniseries from the first volume. So every story arc had to kind of shift up a volume. So we get a couple of we get one story, and the Clone Journal pulled from volume 3 and moved up to this volume here.
So this is where it gets really interesting, and anybody can chime in the chat. I'll keep an eye out. But when we're mapping things like Spider-Man, how in the world are they going to collect the entire Clone Saga? So we're talking about Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, because a lot of those stories crossed over into each other, right? And then we started getting Sensational Spider-Man, which was the 4th series to replace what was it, Peter Parker, right?
Yeah,
I think you mentioned
Web of Spider-Man, I think, was canceled.
Oh yeah, that's right. Web of Spider-Man was the one that was canceled. I mean, I think when we get to the whole Ben Reilly era, they could just collect the Amazing Spider-Man issues, but there are still crossovers there, like a lot of crossovers in those issues. So I don't know exactly. I don't think it's going to be mapped as complete as the Omnis. I think at one point they're going to start putting just Amazing Spider-Man titles in there, especially when Ben Reilly becomes full-time Spider-Man. Do the Omnis have more content so far?
No, in
No,
fact, the
no.
epics have more content because in volume 27, Spider-Man Unlimited #7 has all of the backup stories, which are not in the
Yeah.
omnibus
Uh-huh.
or in the previous trades.
But it is following the omnibus way of mapping the books
Yes,
instead of the way they mapped it before. When does volume 27 come out? In March? Isn't that already out?
it's already out.
January.
It came out. It came out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So significant. This is significant. Also, volume 28, because I think that means we're getting 3 Amazing Spider-Man epic collections in 1 year. Because we're getting volume 27 already came out in January. We're getting volume 10, Big Apple Battleground, in a
That's in
few months, and then this one
February.
later on in the year. We're getting 3 Amazing Spider-Man epic collections. So a lot of people were asking to up the output of some of these longer lines, and I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing or just for this year, but there you go, 3 Spidey volumes in 1 year.
Pitching the Agent X Epic Collection. I have a feeling that will probably be collected in the Deadpool ones. But I love
Yep,
that
I
era
bet
too.
you.
That starts that whole Alvin Lee, Udon Studios, Gail Simone, that whole anime look to the character.
And
Thank
it
you so
was
much
kind
for
of
the
that
super
was
chat.
the end of the Gail Simone run, right? So if they are
Yeah, and I think who was it? It was like somebody ran, it was like Evan Dorkin. Somebody else came in and wrote issues, and then she came back to wrap up her series.
there you go,
After
yeah.
Clone
So it would
Saga,
make sense to
okay, so Aaron
go ahead.
agrees. After Clone Saga, Amazing Spider-Man does his own thing for a while, and then there's a Spider-Hunt, Identity Crisis, and then the Gathering of Five. So I do have a feeling these are going to be mapped just starting, like, especially like I said, when Ben Reilly becomes the full-time Spider-Man, it will just be Amazing Spider-Man issues collected until the big events. So you won't get things like New Warriors, right? Well, no, maybe I don't know. Maybe you will. 3 new
Who
Amazing
knows?
Spider-Man epics, so not considering reprints. Yes, not considering the
Yes, that's right.
reprints.
I know if you consider the reprints, it's like 8 or 9 Spider-Man epics this year. There's a lot of Spider-Man being reprinted.
Yeah, so
You ready
post-Clone
to
Saga
oh,
are quite separated. All right. Yeah, I'm ready. Just making sure I got everybody in the chat. We were talking about Spider-Man. I was just wondering what everybody else was thinking. Go ahead, Curtis. Take us to the next book. Yes.
Avengers Epic Collection, Volume 13, Seasons of the Witch. This one's collecting Avengers 227 to 237, plus Avengers Annual 12, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, Fantastic Four 256, Doctor Strange 60, and the Hawkeye miniseries.
This
They
is
skipped Volume 12 and went right to Volume 13.
this is the Uncle Raj stuff, which surprises me that they skipped Volume 12. I think this is the first. Yeah, I mean 227. That's the first Uncle Raj, isn't it? With Captain Marvel,
Yeah, this is the trial of Yellow Jacket
Yellow
storyline.
Jacket. This has been collected before in trade paper, like fat trades. What was it called? I think it was called the Trial of Yellow Jacket, and that led into
Right, yeah.
Absolute Vision. So that has been collected before. Surprised they didn't do a 12 because we've had Judgment Day for a while.
They were like, we keep saying that we jump around, but we don't actually jump around, so we better start jumping around.
Why do they skip? A lot of it has to do with sales. I think that's how it started, right? I think it was a good move. But the history of Epic started with them doing something semi-new, like in the 80s, and then going back to the 60s. Like, it's really cool to see how they were doing that with volumes. Because from time and time and time again, we have seen companies, not just Marvel, start these books from the beginning and the lines getting canceled left and right, with the exception of the Marvel Masterworks, which has still its huge following. And they wanted something more affordable, but people were losing interest, right? Because if you start with the Silver Age isn't for everybody. I know, Phil. I know your blood pressure is going up when I said that, but it's just fact, unfortunately. So what they notice is that, okay, if we release something from the 80s and then 90s, and then we go back to the 60s, they do start seeing more of these books getting picked up, and then the beauty of the numbers in the back. Why they skip now, Curtis, I think probably waiting for the masterwork files for some of these books, like the Daredevil by Miller and the John Byrne, which is almost finished, honestly. Fantastic Four, or Walter Simonson's Thor, which the omnibus has been modernized colors. It's really fun. It's like, to me, I really enjoy that aspect of epics. It's you're waiting for that one volume, right? Like, this is a big volume for people that love Roger Stern. This is his first volume, and they've been waiting over 10 years for this. And I know the older we get, the less fun that becomes, but it's still I don't know. I like that aspect of it.
I do too. I think that's one of the selling points, and it makes these live streams fun. It makes the guessing beforehand fun in the group and such. It's created. I don't know if it was intentionally made to do this, but it's created a great community around just the anticipation of these books. You know, having fun with Amazing Spider-Man 16 never being released, and all that kind of stuff. Question for you, Omar: is this the volume where Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, joins the Avengers?
Yeah, 227 is when she first appears.
And I wonder if that's one of the reasons for skipping ahead here, to try and get her
that was the other thing,
on the
right? That bit like group synergy, right? Like whenever there's a movie or something like that focuses on a particular character, that tends to be the way that they go.
right. And so with the Marvels, recently in public eye, and they try to, you got to get that corporate synergy going. A lot of people are asking about the Vision and Scarlet Witch limited series, which is probably, I guess, going to go in volume 12 at this point.
Yeah. Because in this one, you have the Hawkeye mini series. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, someone in the comment here says Season of the Witch could be a selling point for the Agatha show later this year as well. So that would make sense too. Sure.
I was gonna say, with that title, they kind of leave it, open open to interpretation.
Which are they talking about?
Right. So I think maybe, yeah, that could be a really good point to that. Oh yeah, so people are saying the Amazing Spider-Man annual is her first appearance. That is true, but I think this is the issue where Roger Stern took her and put her, like 227 with his first issue. It kicks off with her joining the team.
Are you ready to move on to the next one?
They have called it Rambo First Blood. I guess they could.
That would be great.
Okay. What's next?
Thor Epic Collection Volume 10, The Eternals Saga.
I have a funny story to tell about this, but go ahead, Curtis.
Okay, this one is Thor numbers 281 to 302 and Thor Annual 8, and material from Marvel Treasury Edition 24 and 26. And this is a significant one because it fills the gap between the already released volumes 9 and 11, giving us 12 consecutive Thor Epic collections starting from the very beginning.
That's freaking awesome. The funny story behind this one was when years ago, I don't know how many years Curtis and I have been doing this, announcing these books, but we had a full list, and it was like some trade paperbacks were on that list. And I remember one of the trade paperbacks was a reprint of the Thor Eternals saga. It was like a thick book. And actually, it's called Thor and the Eternals, the Celestial Saga. And I remember Curtis asking me, hey, man, do you think there's any way we could ask David if they could change it to an epic? So I was like, hey, you know what? We got him to change his mind about Conan. Maybe we could do the same with this. So I emailed him. Do you remember when that was? I was like, it had to be like 4 years ago at least. And David said, no, we're already working on a volume. But we needed to get this out because of the movie that was coming out. Was it the Eternals movie or something? Maybe, I don't know, whatever Marvel had coming out. And I remember telling Curtis the bad news. He was like, "Oh, bummer. That would have been such a good gap to fill." And here we are, November of 2024, years later, and it's coming. That's just awesome. Like how far ahead they have these mapped. What are the what's up, Jack Ferry? Thank you for the super chat, brother. What are the chances that we get a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider omnibus, being that his epic collections have been selling like hotcakes? Have they? We only had one. Did it sell like hotcakes? We're getting a Danny Ketch omnibus. So I say we'll probably get a Johnny Blaze omnibus. They're almost
I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
One more masterwork after the one that's released this year to wrap up his series in masterwork. So yeah, absolutely. Yes, the Eternals book and the Thor book are subtly different in contents. Yep. Hellfire hotcakes. I like that. What's wild is this is coming out nearly 10 years after Thor Epic 11. Yeah.
That's right.
So if you're new to collecting epics, oh, God bless you. You don't understand the pain yet, but you will. You'll get there. But I love that about being a new collector, right? Like coming into something and you're like, oh my gosh, all these books are available to me. Oh my gosh, a lot of these books are out of print. Like no matter what hobby it is, right? You're new to it. Omar, the Johnny Blaze Epic is sold out right now, selling for a minimum of 200. Well, then you all make sure to go and vote for that one. I had no idea it was sold out. Curtis starts a list. Oh, yes. And if you have a list, we'll get Philip involved too, of books that are out of print. By all means, please, we'll take any help we can get, because it is a nightmare to keep up with what's in print and what's out of print these days, because we have 3 different distributors and only one of them lets you see what's actually out in and out of print. Even people that work there have a hard time. Yeah.
Over 350.
What's up, brother?
And there's over 350 epic collections, so it's just hard to keep track of all of that information.
Yeah.
It was way easier when there's only 100 epic collections.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a huge.
So if you want to help, let us know in the epic group, in the Facebook group. That would be great, because we sure as heck could use it. Because I'd hate to leave out a book because we had no idea it was out of print. Is the epic collection larger than regular comic book size? It is the same trim size as the single issues. It's just a trade paperback. Omnis are larger trim size though. And by the way, if you haven't joined Curtis's Epic group, this is the Facebook link right here. If you have Facebook, there's the trade dress. So you get to see
we don't get full covers for all of the books, but some of them we do, and so we get to share them with you here. Yeah, nice cover. I like the cover.
So that cover right there of the is it Big John, or who's the artist at the time? Is it Pollard? Keith Pollard's the artist on, but did John do that cover? Big John?
It kind of looks like his style, but I'm not
hard to tell
sure.
with the inks at the time. I like that back art though. That's freaking awesome.
Honestly, this is not the most exciting era of Thor. It's he kind of was in limbo a little bit in terms of direction. It's still a few years out before Simonson comes in and takes the reins, and so while it's a welcome gap filler for sure, this material isn't commonly reprinted because it's just not the best material. But it's great to have it available again.
And it's been available before. It's been available in 2 trades, but not everything that's collected in here. Those are mapped differently. And that's Celestial Saga. But now you can give that to your cousin or nephew or the next trick-or-treater and get the epic, so it lines up perfectly with your other books. Curtis?
Okay, we ready? Sorry, my kids are texting me. I'm just making sure everything's okay.
Everything okay?
Okay. Yep, we're all good. Next up, we have Spider-Girl Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 5, Keeping the Faith, collecting Spider-Girl, number 68 to 84. This is an important one because they stopped the complete collections with volume 4, and so this is the material
Yep.
that directly follows the complete collection volume 4. They're skipping ahead to get this material out.
And this is the beauty of rebranding these books, right? Like, yeah, the complete collections were out, and of course you can keep them. But in case you missed out on some of them, like Spider-Girl Volume 1 that went out of print and stayed out of print for a while, and now you've got a chance to get Volume 5. I love that they're doing that. And that's another reason why they skip too, because they know that people that have been collecting the previous formats want the newer stuff.
I mean, it'll clash with the spines on your shelf, but what are you gonna do?
This is a really good question. Are they eventually just going to stop making complete collections altogether and just release them straight to Epic format? Yeah, they are. They have done away with the complete collections trade dress. I think right now they're focusing on modern epics. Now the new I think you're thinking of like the Dennis Hopeless like Spider-Woman collection. That isn't really complete collection. It just says Spider-Woman by Dennis Hopeless, but it's a thick book with like 400 pages. Those I'm sure will get eventually rebranded. I mean, from a business perspective, that's a hell of a move. Like every 10 years you're rebranding like your old trades, and we'll just call it a new epic instead of reprinting it and just labeling it a new modern epic, because in 10 years time you're going to have new readers that want to read things that have been long out of print.
I think that the term complete collection doesn't really give anything to the book, but branding it by creator sometimes does. So that Spider-Woman book by Hopeless, they're banking on the fact that people will buy it because of the author, whereas the epic collections, that's not as big of a focus, is the name draw.
Okay. So yeah, that's another one. That's a big one.
There should be one more volume after this, I think, volume 6, that would collect the remainder of the Spider-Girl issues plus the short-lived Amazing Spider-Girl series. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Absolutely.
Star Wars Darth Vader Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 1 Shadows and Secrets. This is collecting the first 12 issues of Darth Vader, the Marvel series, along with the director's cut of issue 1 and the Darth Vader annual number 1. So we all pretty much guessed that with the addition of modern Star Wars comics, that this one was eventually going to be here, and sure enough, here it is. It cuts right before Vader Down, so Vader Down will be in volume 2 of this series.
And that is freaking, and like if you haven't read that stuff is awesome. If you haven't read this stuff is freaking great. It has been available in omnibus format, and it's had 2 printings. They're again out of print. But it's interesting that they cut off right before Vader Down, which is a freaking awesome story. And this, we've oh my God, Curtis. Was there a screw it. Did we announce a modern Star Wars epic already?
We announced the Star Wars epic and Star Wars Kanan epic collection.
That was it, the Kanan one. Okay.
Yep. People are saying this is thin for an epic. There's only 12 issues. It's with the Darth Vader annual, which I think was double size. That's 14, and then the director's cut is 15. So I don't know if you count that or not, but
it will be a slimmer trade for sure, though.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if they could have fit Vader Down, the entire story, in this volume, which is why I think the cutoff is before this one. So that it's going to start with Vader Down in the next one, because that one crosses over with Star Wars, so you got to get all the Star Wars issues in there. So, it's not. There are thinner epics like Miss Marvel and that kind of thing, so it is what it is. And
I mean, it's not like they haven't had thin epics and then a fatty right next to it, right? Like even looking at the bookshelf right now, some of the books
For
they
sure.
try to stick to the same size of like just to keep it consistent.
But here I think it's a cutoff issue with the Vader Down crossover story.
I probably yeah, and it will probably double dip with that Skywalker Strikes epic because the crossover
True. Yeah.
involves both Vader and X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, and that story is in the first Star Wars epic collection. Okay, moving on to December. So that was 7 epics for November. Now we're going to move on to 7 epics for December, starting with the reprint. Star Wars Legends Epic Collection, The Empire Volume 2 is getting a new edition in December of 2024. We had previously announced that the December reprint was going to be this Captain America, the Superior Stratagem. That has been delayed, and they've replaced it with this one instead.
And that one has been moved right out of the
we don't have
out
a
of the
new date
schedule.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, out of the schedule.
But I mean, it's not like they haven't done that before, right? We've actually
Right.
announced the book. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how many years ago. It was a Silver Surfer book. Remember the Herald?
Harold Ordeal.
Yeah. Was that 4 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago, and we still haven't
I
seen.
think it was 4 years ago.
Maybe one day. Yeah. So I mean, it happens. It happens, but I don't think Captain America will be moved that far out just because we have a Captain America movie coming out. I think they'll probably reprint it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is only December. It was December. It could easily be bumped to like February, so just a matter of a
Yeah,
couple of months.
I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I think honestly they just forgot about Silver Surfer, and I'll probably just need to email them. Yeah, Superior Stratagem probably bumped to come out near the next movie. He'll be back, and if ever it's forgotten, please let us know, and I'll be happy to remind them. Yeah, Curtis.
Okay, next up is also one that we had previously announced, but it got bumped, and now it's back on the schedule for December. Hawkeye Epic Collection Volume 4, Shafted. Look at all of these little miniseries here. Hawkeye 94 miniseries, Hawkeye Earth's Mightiest Marksman #1, Hawkeye the 2003 miniseries, the 8-issue series, Avengers 502, The Pulse 10, New Avengers 26 and 30, Young Avengers Presents #6, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 159 to 161. This is interesting because it's a classic epic collection, but it crosses that threshold between classic and modern. There's a few New Avengers issues
There's
here.
like, oh my gosh, look at these, just like 10 years worth of material in here.
Yeah.
For Hawkeye. That mid-90s series was awesome. I really liked it. And interesting, like the choices for New Avengers, of course, if you know what happens. Young Avengers Presents 6. Oh my gosh, that book has to be one of these books people double dip on like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't like, it's so weird to see it here because that to me, the legacy character of Kate Bishop to me says modern epic. So it's interesting to see it here and not like in a modern epic collection.
I think the reason why it's here is because it still has classic Hawkeye before he went through his Jonathan Hickman revamp. So I think that they're really trying to.
What do you mean,
I
like
think it's
the Matt Fraction revamp?
I mean, sorry, the Matt Fraction revamp. Yeah.
Dude, I made that same mistake when I was
I
talking
make
about something on a video, and I pre-recorded it, and I had time to edit, but I was like, you know what? Someone's gonna correct me. I'll let it fly.
I mix up Fraction and Hickman all the time. I don't know why, because they're
I
not
do that
the
with
same. But
Hickman and Aaron, Jason Aaron,
yeah.
and Jonathan Hickman a lot, and Tom Taylor and Tom King. Forget it, dude.
So yeah, and so I think that if they want the Hawkeye Modern Epic Collections to start with that Matt Fraction stuff, where Hawkeye gets a
Oh,
you
then
know
that's
an
the
overhaul,
point. Yeah.
then this is collecting all the material
Oh,
for Hawkeye before that.
wait a minute. Let's strike one for Curtis. Thank
It's
you for
actually
that.
it's actually strike two. I made a mistake earlier. What was that mistake? I can't remember now.
You're so good at hiding it. You're so good at hiding it. I feel like modern era Hawkeye should be Epic 5 and Fraction should be Modern 1 since he's wearing movie clothes. If there's any justice in the world, we'll get a Hawkeye by Thompson Omnibus. There's not, so we won't. There's plenty of justice, always an instigator. I'd like to see that too. She's a great creator. Not like this. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're quoting it to make fun of that line, but I do because I just think it's so ridiculous. Not like this. Like this. All right. What's next, Curtis?
Okay, let's see here. New Avengers Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 2, Civil War. This is one that also we've previously announced and is back on the schedule for December. New Avengers 11 to 25. New Avengers guest starring the Fantastic Four. Giant Size Spider-Woman #1. New Avengers Annual #1. New Avengers Illuminati One Shot and Civil War The Confession. There you go. This is is it the same as the I forgot to check. Is this the same as the Brian Michael Bendis Complete Collection Volume 2? I think it's
I can check
including
that part,
New
because
Avengers guest
that did
starring the
not
Fantastic Four.
That didn't include Civil War.
No, it didn't.
And I don't know. I know that we have a difference of opinions when it comes to how to collect those.
People in the chat are saying it's exactly the same.
Oh, it is? Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, that one was $39.99, and it has 11 through 25, the custom 676, Army and Air Force, Giant Spider-Woman 1, New Avengers Annual 1, New Avengers Illuminati One Shot, and then the Civil War Confession. So yeah, same thing.
Is the Fantastic Four guest starring Fantastic Four?
What's that? Which one?
Does it have New Avengers guest starring the Fantastic Four? Is that what?
Well, let me look. I'm looking at it right now, and I can see it's got New Avengers Custom 676 Army and Air Force.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
I think it was what they sent away to the troops. It was like an issue that was exclusive to the Army.
Well, then there are some differences, I guess. Aaron Hobbs says that is the custom 676.
I was going to say, unless it's the custom and they're just rebranding it, what they called it, right? Isn't the Army of One? Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, there you go. It's exactly the same. But those Bendis books, again, long out of print. A lot of them are going for top dollar on the secondary market, so they're bringing it back to print. So, which is definitely a trend of the modern era Epic collections. Okay, let's go on to something. Oh, by the way, for each month there are 4 classic Epic collections and 2 modern Epic collections. So if you're keeping
in the past, how when we were announcing these, how many epics did we have a month? Do you remember? And including like the reprints?
When we would do 3 months, there would usually be about 13 to 15 epics or something, and now we are up to like over 20. So they're increasing the number. And now we're not including the Star Wars stuff or the Conan stuff. So we're getting more of the actual 616 books per month here.
4 + 2 = 7.
Oh, Bob, you're forgetting the reprint, Bob.
I love that. All right. That was almost half of a mistake, but that's okay.
That wasn't a mistake at all.
It wasn't a mistake at all. That was Canadian math.
4 classic epics, 2 moderns, and 1 reprint. 7 books a month.
I still contend House of M should be in between 10 and 11, and other material pushed to volume 3. Omar, will you have a full list of trade paperbacks? Omar will be restocking to go along with the McKay Daredevil. Ewing's Ultimate Series is super out of print, and so is Wade's Black Widow. I can ask. Hey, Lee, how are you? ¿Dónde está la Patrulla X? Do you know what the Patrulla X is?
Nope.
Pronto, hermano, pronto.
Where are the X-Men epics?
Very, very close. Omar, you
Okay.
say that variant covers sell well. Why can't we have the variant covers for all Omnis? Like Marvel did 30 to 60 variants for issue number ones. I emailed you 300 variant covers. I have 430 on. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? No, we're not gonna have 300 variant or 30 variants for freaking Omnis. But yeah, this is the new Avengers that we had talked about already. It will be interesting to see when we get to this era how and if there is a new Avengers Omnibus Volume 2, how it will be mapped and if they will include Civil War, because I feel like House of M wasn't included. I don't think they'll include Civil War. I think Civil War will be like an event omnibus, and they'll put those together to make probably 2 Omnis. Secret Invasion is the tough one because it was written by Bendis, and it led into his Dark Avengers. It affected his Mighty Avengers and affected his New Avengers. And I wonder how that will, if that will be mapped or not in there, because we already have a Secret Invasion event omnibus. Carry on. What's up, Max? X-Men 10 and Excalibur 5 would be extremely nice. I love the way that my brother put a big X there. How many announcements have I missed? You just missed all of November and some of December. Once again, I'm glad I'm not in charge of mapping. Yeah, mapping these and just making like everybody happy is near impossible. My God, Civil War and omnibus format. Give me, oh my gosh, Warren, you have the worst taste, but I still love you.
Warren likes something. That's pretty good.
No, Warren loves Bendis. He hates everything that I like, and now I know that he likes Civil War. And he said something blasphemous about Cowboy Bebop, the animation, but I'm not even going to bring that up again. Omar, saludos a ti y a Curtis. Alfredo, ¿cómo estás, hermano? Great show, guys. I was on his show the other day. If you ever want to see me butcher my Spanish, Alfredo had me on his show. My goodness. It was I think I was able to hang, though. He's a really good guy. All right, Curtis, what's next, buddy?
Okay, what's next? We have an Iron Man Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 4, Stark Disassembled. Following, this is the Matt Fraction stuff, more of the Matt Fraction stuff, right? And Invincible Iron Man 20 to 33, Iron Man Requiem #1, Rescue, and Free Comic Book Day 2010, the Iron Man Thor issue.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that Matt Fraction was working on, and Salvador La Roca was doing the internal artwork. And we've had 2 oversized hardcovers of this stuff previously, no omnibus yet, and we've had, I can't remember if there was
collection.
We didn't have, did it finish
that
it?
Was no, it was the same as Volume 3, and there is no complete collection Volume 2. So this would be that complete collection Volume 2. It picks up exactly where the other one left off.
Well, good. Then what issue, that would have been issue 19 would have been the last one, because I remember the 2 OHCs, and then you had to get either the standard hardcovers or the trade paperbacks. Yeah. Wow. There's some thoughts on Matt Fraction.
Not a Matt Fraction run fan. A lot of people hating on him in the chat there.
I do. Well, I wasn't the biggest fan, but there are a ton of people that love this run. A ton of people that love this run. And
I haven't read it, but I did enjoy. Of course, I enjoyed Hawkeye. I love that series.
I enjoy Hawkeye if I take myself out of the character, right? Like if I'm like, this isn't the way the character would act. This is definitely not Bobby, or it kind of works like the way that Tom King writes books at DC Comics. It's Matt Fraction having fun in his own little pocket universe. That's a hell of a run. Yeah. Okay. What's next, buddy?
Okay, what's next? Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 8, The Herald Ordeal. Boy, that sounds familiar, Omar. Where have we heard that before?
I had to bring it up just to remind people to hold on to that hope, baby, because you never know. We announced this, I want to say 4 years ago. And actually,
yeah.
I'm going to take a picture right now, because I told my buddy one day, I haven't even told him that it was coming back, because he was like, dude, it's the only one I care about. Where the heck is that book? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. They got it out of the catalog. But there it is, man. Yeah, one of my buddy Matt only collects Silver Surfer collected editions, and he's been asking for this for 4 years, I think now. Yeah, 4 years. We announced it, and maybe 3. I can't remember. But if you were there, you know. And now it's finally back. So tell me about this book, Curtis. What is this?
This is Silver Surfer 67 to 75, Silver Surfer Annual number 5, Silver Surfer Homecoming, the graphic novel, plus Incredible Hulk Annual 18, Namor the Submariner Annual number 2, and Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme Annual number 2, and that's the Return of the Defenders Annual crossover storyline, which I believe was also reprinted in full in a Hulk Epic collection.
Yeah, I think it was the Hulk one. This is Ron Lim's still working on the book. I've always been a big fan of issue 75, that cover, but I think they went. This is 74.
This is Ron Mars.
Yeah,
Mars is the author of this one.
But that cover is also inked by Terry Austin, and I'm a big fan of Terry Austin. But Ron Lim was the artist. MC Wyman did some of the artwork during this run, but it was Ron Mars' take on the character, and I'm so glad that it's finally back.
And this is the story that turns Nebula into the android Nebula that from the movies. So she got horribly disfigured during the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and so she comes back here as kind of a remade character.
What is Volume 7? Is it Thanos?
Yeah,
or Thanos.
No, Volume 7 is the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay, that's okay. So this follows up the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, that one is still in print. Right. It's Thanos Quest that's out of print.
Yeah, we've had Volume 7 and Volume 9 for a while with nothing in the middle here. So now we get to fill that gap, and we'll have a straight run of Silver Surfer from Volume 3 all the way to Volume 9.
Oh my gosh. That means Volume 2. Dude, all we need is Volume 2, or you can go get the omnibus, Curtis.
Well, not all we need. We still need Volume 10 because we also have...
Oh, okay. That's right.
10, 11, and 12 before we get to this one, Volume 13. So we have a little ways to go for Silver Surfer still.
Yeah, I'm excited that, I think it's been a long time coming, and they did not forget. And I remember the last time we did the announcements, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to remind them about that Silver Surfer book, because I had forgotten to remind them the previous time, and here we are. Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 8, the Herald Ordeal, finally coming out. So, woo! I'm excited for this one, man. I haven't read this stuff in years. 75 had that cover, the glossy cover, with him. It was like, it wasn't glossy. What would you call it? It's like almost like a holographic cover. It's cool.
I don't remember. Silver Surfer had a bunch of fancy covers around this time. I can't remember which one that is exactly.
Hollow foil. Thank you. That's what it's called. Nate Jones. Hollow foil. Yeah, it was like a hollow foil cover. It was embossed because I remember he was like embossed. The character was Silver Surfer. So there you go.
Perfect.
I did bring it up on the stream for a reason.
Okay, coming up next here, let's see. We've got the beginning of some X books. Excalibur, Epic Collection, Volume 5, Days of Futures Yet to Come. Yeah, a number of people have wanted this volume in particular. This finishes up the Alan Davis run, the second Alan Davis run. Excalibur, 59 to 75, plus Excalibur Annual number 1. There you go.
So for this one here, this is Alan Davis coming in and then eventually leaving the book or making a return to the book.
Making a return. Well, he made a return in Volume 4.
Yeah,
and this is wrapping up.
This the freaking just cast grows and grows in this. Like Micromax joins the team. Kowloon comes back. He brings Widget with him. Right. Oh, what is her name? Sarais, right? Like
oh no, Circe.
Seriously, that's it. Yes, that's it. She ends up joining and has a big crush on. She's part of the Shi'ar Empire. Who else? Pharaon joins. Like the cast is just
Silhouette?
insane.
Is Silhouette in this book? Remember the character who couldn't walk? Silhouette?
You talking about the New
Was that?
Warriors?
Oh no, that's New Warriors. Yeah, is that what?
Yeah, he's gone. Sorry, guys. I apologize for Kurtis. That was strike 3. You only get 3 strikes on this channel. No mas. Kurtis is gone. Time for Omar to take over, but I do need some help. So I guess I'll get Earth 2 Kurtis in here. Yes, that was New Warriors, man. We all make mistakes. It's all good, man.
New Warriors, yeah. But that was this era too. I'm just mixing up my teams, right? I think they're around the same time.
I mean, this is probably 92, 93. New Warriors was 90, like early 90s. So 90, 91. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So around the same era. Yeah. maybe if they'll release New Warriors in Epic Collection, you can catch up.
Oh, it's not Circe. It's Cerise. Yeah, Cerise.
Okay. Cerise. It's French for cherry.
French for cherry.
Way to go, Kurt. This has the Madureira Excalibur. That is issues 57 and 58. Right? No, 59 and 60. Hold on a second. Oh my god, brain.
Yeah, it's in the previous volume. It's in volume 5.
Yeah, it's 57 and 58, isn't it? Let me see. Because 57 has them. Yeah. Okay, so it is. 57 is the one where they're all running with the X-Men. So it was 50.
And we even get the cover on the cover of the Epic.
Yeah, so 56 and 57 is what it was. Nope, 57. Was that right? 57 and 58? Gosh dang it. Yeah, 57 and 58. That's what it was. Okay. Brain still has it. Okay. So very excited. Somebody was asking for this one earlier. I think it was Jose. What do you think modern Excalibur Volume 1 would contain? A Magneto and Charlie series? That Excalibur's, yeah. That series, because we know the classic Excalibur ends with Excalibur 2. That series, and then New Excalibur, when the Juggernaut and all those cats ended up joining. Kurtis?
I like Phil Owen's comment saying, "You're good, Kurtis. Excalibur and New Warriors are teams no one cares about."
Phil, I promise you no venom, and this is how you treat me? Unbelievable. The audacity.
There we go.
Audacity, man. Yeah.
Okay, so well, if you were not looking forward to Excalibur, then maybe you'll look forward to this next one. X-Men Epic Collection, Volume 10, God Loves, Man Kills.
Greatest X-Men comic ever, baby. Let me take this one, Kurtis. Collecting Uncanny X-Men 168, my very first comic book, to 175. X-Men Annual number 7. Marvel graphic novel number 5, which is X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. Wolverine miniseries 1 through 4, material from the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, 1983. I mean, I don't know if an X-Men collection gets better than this one. Paul Smith, Frank Miller, Bob oh my gosh, dude. God Loves, Man Kills, the greatest freaking story. And our buddy Crisis, if you're available, you can jump in here to get excited with us. I'll send you the link. I didn't know you were there. But then again, you're joining me for like every Thursday, so it's up to you. But I'll send you the link anyway. Kurtis, now you can talk. I'm sorry. I'm excited for this book, even though I own it in every freaking version of it.
This has been definitely highly anticipated. People have been asking for this one, not just because of the content, but because of the Wolverine miniseries that wasn't included in Wolverine Epic Collection Volume 1. We're always asking, where is that going to come up in an Epic Collection? Well, here it is. There's just tons of great stuff in here. And I'm very happy that they chose the name God Loves, Man Kills just for you, Omar.
Just for me, just for Chris Claremont. This is such a good book. It's been collected in trade paperback, like From the Ashes. This is practically the same. I mean, it's the entire storyline From the Ashes. Except From the Ashes didn't have Wolverine 1 through 4. It also didn't have God Loves Man Kills. So it's very excited. Like it's really cool. I'm curious, and this is just me, how God Loves Man Kills will be collected, because the gallery edition, they censored out the derogatory term that's in there,
Right. Yeah.
the racist derogatory term, and that came from Claremont. It was a decision by him and the editor. But the Omnis of Volume 3 still has it. So I don't know. I guess we'll know whenever it comes in. But I am curious how that will be handled. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is such an amazing time. It was when I got into X-Men big time, and Paul Smith. Oh my gosh, the cover, Wolverine running away with a tear in his face. We can't see his tear because he's crying under the mask. Rogue chasing after him. Oh my god, this is such a great story. I love it. Plus, you get Wolverine 1 through 4 in here. Look at that. You get the back cover there with Walter Simonson on that cover from, what is that, 171? Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, that's when Rogue joins the team officially.
Yeah. This is a big one. And I know this is one that a lot of people have been waiting on since they started the X-Men epics 10 years ago. So,
and the last volume, Brood Saga, was great. I loved it, and so it's just so good to be able to jump onto the next one so quick. And I mean, so quick. It's still like a year away, but um, but yeah, yeah, we're pumping right along with these X-Men epics. It's great. It'd be nice if we could see like 3 X-Men a year as well. But the fact that they still are constantly giving us a new and an old is very, very nice.
And when people asked me the last time, like, hey, where are all the X-Men books? I always said, it seems to be a thing with Marvel that they keep the mutant books towards the end of the year, at least in Omni formats, but then they kind of stopped doing that for a while. But this time around, man, they're just firing left and right with these.
That's right. Yeah, they sure are.
Aaron, I hope you enjoy them, man. They're so good. I think I'll pick up the Claremont X-Men epics now.
A lot of them have been reprinted just recently, so this is the time to jump on right now while the second printings are still in stock.
That's right. Yeah, they just reprinted Giant. What was it? The Second Genesis.
Second
right?
Genesis and Proteus and Fate of the Phoenix also recently got reprints.
The Claremont and Jim Lee.
And then The Gift, Epic 12, The Gift is getting reprinted in a couple of months.
So unfortunately, Peter is stuck in meetings, but he is chiming in. I think his trade map is genius in the same way that they map the Dark Phoenix Saga epics. Epics are terrific when they capture a whole slice of a story that is satisfying to read on its own, which just makes it really good. Oh, I Am Magneto is out of print.
Vote for that one then, everybody.
Make sure to vote for that one. Yeah. I'm excited to see where the votes go this time. It's always, to me, it always impresses me where people lean towards. Sometimes it's Spider-Man heavy, sometimes it's X-Men heavy, and then there's Star Wars heavy. What's up, Joe Cool? How you doing, brother? Give me X Factor number 5. I'm so close to finishing my X collection. So no Phoenix Omnibus, but a Phoenix epic. Yes. Vote for Examinations. Pass. There we go. There's the Warren I know and love. Pass. On one of the greatest comics ever. All right, Warren. I see you. Civil War. I Magneto's almost only good for 150 anyway, except for Kitty's ridiculous outfit. Oh, dude, I don't know. I Magneto has some good stories in there. No, I'm a sucker for that era. Okay, Curtis. This is a good one. January. You're looking at 2025. A year.
Okay, we're going to start with a reprint. Star Wars Volume 13. Bringing that one back. When is the Armor Wars movie coming out? Is that one coming out next year in 2025? Or is that like shelved or something? I can't keep track.
Well, it was going to be a TV show and then they're going to make it into a movie. I don't think they've announced an official date, at least not yet.
Okay, because I would have thought that maybe this stuff would be reprinted to coincide with that movie, but I don't know. But anyway, we're getting a new printing. We announced this one previously, so this is just letting you know that, reminding you that it's coming in January of 2025. And then moving on, we have another book that we have previously announced. It's back on the schedule. Blade Epic Collection Volume 2, Night Stalkers. This is the first volume of a new Blade line of Epic Collections.
The Stank Wars.
Stank Wars. Tony
Tony
Stank.
Stank. Love it. Yeah, this is one that we've announced. I love this stuff. Interesting enough, this stuff I don't think has been collected previously. Not the
So-
Night Stalkers. And I don't think Ghost Rider has. And Midnight Suns Unlimited, I don't think that has either. This is big. I'm hoping for an omnibus one day of this era. Yeah. But it does have the Tomb of Dracula from 1991.
Yeah, and that's been reprinted before.
And hold on a second. There is a Rise of the ROTS. What is that? Rise of the Return of Curtis. What is that? Return of the. I can't think now.
Suns, Rise of the Midnight Suns.
Rise of the Midnight Suns. Okay, that's what it was. That has GR 31 and Night Stalkers #1 in it. You're right. There is. I forgot I have that. But I don't think it has like the rest of the Night Stalker series. We left out the M. It's all good, man. I got you. Curtis got you. And at this moment, I just want to remind everybody to smash that like button, please, while you're here. Hopefully, you'll see something here that you enjoyed too. How's it going, Bruce? Have not even started filming Armor's War yet, which is delaying Ironheart TV show, which is done. Wait, so they filmed Ironheart already, but they have to delay it because of Armor Wars? Oh my gosh, I wonder how long that will stay in a vault. Revenge of the Snort. Thank you, Bruce, for the super chat, my brother. There's no official date for Armor Wars movie yet. Heck, they're filming a Wonder Man series currently, and they won't have an officially announced that yet. Nor the cast of the Fantastic Four, which I know we're waiting for. All right.
So the volume 1 of Blade is probably going to be the same contents as the Blade early years omnibus, because that was a thin omni, and I think it would all fit in one epic collection. And then after this, volume 3, they'll get into more Midnight Suns. And I'm very unfamiliar with this material, so I don't know if the Rise of the Midnight Suns storyline could go in this epic collection, or if it would be saved for a Ghost Rider epic collection or something like that.
Just curious why you're not listing the volume numbers along with the titles. Do you mean the titles of the individual series? Or you mean the epic collection volumes? Because if it's the title of the individual series, I think that, oh my goodness, that would take a little bit longer. And we're just using what pretty much Marvel gives us, because they go by years, not volume numbers, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so Tomb of Dracula, yeah, that's how Marvel denotes their different volumes, is the starting date of each volume.
And yes, hugely uncollected Midnight Suns. Did I miss the Chuck Austin modern epic? Give us what we want. Edward, you're the only one. Is this Chuck Austin? Titles of the epics.
No, it's up there at the top. Blade Epic Collection Volume 2, Night Stalkers.
Was there one that we missed? If so, we'll go back and look at it. But I think they're all there. You don't have to go through the whole. Curtis, we can come back. We're doing it live. Oh, look, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I went too far. Here's the next one. Guardians of the Galaxy Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 2, War of Kings, collecting Guardians of the Galaxy 13 to 25, plus Thanos Imperative Ignition #1 and the Thanos Imperative miniseries numbers 1 through 6.
Oh, this is a good question. Only 11 issues, and it's considered an epic. I think he's talking about the Blade book, and I think it's because the Tomb of Dracula books were double sized, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm thinking of the right Tomb of Dracula,
yeah, they were. In fact, I think they were more than double sized. They were pretty big each issue.
Okay, that's 4 strikes for Curtis because he went. He went too far. Show me the next one, Curtis. Show me the next one, please. Let's talk about Guardians.
Wait,
Guardians
Guardians.
of the Galaxy collecting the entirety. Well, I'm sorry, the remaining run of DNA's run on Guardians of the Galaxy, and it also collecting the Thanos Imperative, which is where everything led to, which is their big finale. And unfortunately, that's it.
Was
Sorry.
the
This is strike one for Earth 2, Curtis. You are correct. You're correct.
was the Thanos Imperative in the complete collections?
I would assume so because that's how you wrap up the. Let me look. I had this in
Well,
omnibus.
just because that's how you wrap it up doesn't they didn't put Siege in the Dark Avengers epic
Did I know
collection,
a
even though
tone with
that's where
that,
that wraps
Curtis?
up.
Did you give me a tone?
Come
Hold on a
on,
second.
Omar. You know.
I had the omnibus, and then I gave it to. I gave. I think that was one of the first books I gave away on my channel many years ago.
People in the chat are saying it was not in the complete collections.
So you're saying complete collection volume 2 if it was in there. There it is. Looking at the mapping of that, it looks like it's just 13 through 25. So no, this is new.
There you go. So this is an updated
Thank you,
mapping.
Edward.
Hopefully people like that.
Sorry, we should just rely on the chat instead of having me look. It takes them such a shorter time to answer. It was not in there. Thank you all. Thank you all. And the Thanos Imperative slaps. Yes, it does, especially when the big reveal happens. Oh, I love that big reveal at the end of Guardians where it leads into that. Such a good freaking story. Won't Siege be in the Thor Modern Epics? Oh, I don't know. Are there Thor Modern Epics?
Are there? Yeah, we announced one previously, the volume 1.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Called Reborn from Ragnarok.
Like the video, everyone. Thank you for that vision. And the Thanos Imperative has one of the best ending in comics. I loved it. And I know, out of that we got the Annihilators, but it just wasn't the same. And now DNA broke up and they don't even talk. So
who takes over Guardians after that? Is it Bendis?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be volume 3 will be the Bendis era Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. And then you get the Jerry Duggan stuff. Donny Cates takes over. Al Ewing, which is very underrated. Nobody really talked about that series. It's so good. Well, thank you for that, Jose. X-Men 10 and Excalibur 5 earned my like. Bendis is coming. Woof. Yep. This is where Guardians ends for me.
There you go. Well, and the nice thing is that the numbers are not on the spine, so you can stop and start wherever you want with these epics.
Yeah, but you have people like Curtis that you invite over to your house, and we'll look at the back of them to make sure that you've got the proper volumes lined up perfectly.
I'm too polite. I won't say that. Except if it's your house. I'll come over and do that.
You'll come and judge me? What is this trade doing in between these? And I'm like, dude, that's how I freaking have my shelf, and that's how I map these books. What else we got, Curtis?
Well, oh, look at that. Here we have a Thor Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 2, The Siege of Asgard. Collecting Thor 601 to 614, Thor Annual number 1, Thor Giant Size Finale, and Siege Loki number 1, and New Mutants 11. There you go.
So no Siege collected in here. They just reprinted Siege in trade paperback, if you've been missing it. For the people that get Epic collections, I think that's what leads me to think that events are going to be their own trade paperbacks.
Yeah, and so honestly, at this point, because the Loki Modern Era Epic Collections, the Dark Avengers Epic Collections, and this one, and also, eventually the Captain America Epic Collections, like a lot of stuff comes to a head in that miniseries. Just buy the trade, stick it on your shelf, and rather than having them reprinted in every single Epic Collection. We don't need another Maximum Carnage situation here. Yeah, so there's one comment that says the Siege of Asgard with no Siege collected. I know it is kind of funny, and like the Civil War New Avengers Epic Collection with no Civil War, so it's just the way they're doing things. We'll have to have a little section on your shelf devoted to those standalone miniseries.
So yeah, I'm letting people know that they just reprinted Siege like this past month, or in January. I'm sorry. So, are those Siege and New Mutants issues collected in any Omni? They are collected in the JMS Gillen Omnibus. And I'm not here to say that the Omnis are better than Epics, because it's just understood. I don't have to say it.
Hold on a second. I can't kick you from the stream, can I?
No, you cannot. Maybe we should do a video on modern Epic mapping. That would be interesting to see. And I'd love to have Peter's take on it too. Because it's going to be hard to decide what event goes in where, and if they should just keep it. Yeah. Okay, Kurtis, Thor. This is the Gillen era. Billy Tan taking over the book, and leading into Siege. And then it wraps up, and then the next book will be the Matt Fraction era of Thor, modern epic.
Fraction again for all you Matt Fraction lovers.
Yes, all of you.
Okay, let's see. What's next here? X Factor Epic Collection Volume 10, Wreaking Havoc. Collecting X Factor 112 to 126, Sabretooth and Mystique numbers 1 to 4, Marvel Fanfare 6, and material from X-Men Prime number 1. So this is crossing over the Age of Apocalypse era.
And skipping those issues. So this is the Howard Mackie era, Steve Epting on artwork. I think after Steve Epting leaves the book, that's when we get the Jeff Matsuda era. And Jeff Matsuda actually, I think, starts here because this is after the Age of Apocalypse. So when the X-Men come back, Jeff Matsuda becomes the ongoing artist and Steve Epting leaves the book. But you still have Howard Mackie writing the stories. Because we have Fatal Attractions collected, right? In epic format as far as the X Factor epics. Kurtis?
Do we have what? Sorry, I was reading some of the comments here on the side.
No, it's okay. We have Fatal Attractions collected in epics, right? As far as the X Factor.
I don't. Is it in the upcoming? Let me just check if it's in the upcoming X-Men Epic Collection.
I look to you to tell me these things. I cannot. It's hard enough to keep up with Omnis, like keeping up with the epics. Oh, that's another beast. But I think we do have it collected in there. And
Fatal Attractions. The X-Men Epic does not include any X Factor issues.
No. I'm sorry. If X Factor has already gone past the Fatal Attractions, the Joe Quesada era.
Oh, I see. Yes, that stuff is in Volume 8.
Thank you. Okay. So then, yeah, this takes us from Age of Apocalypse to Onslaught. Like issue 125, 124, 125, and 126 are like Onslaught. What were they called? Impacts or Face? Yeah, Impacts. I think X Factor was Impacts. But again, Howard Mackie and Jeff Matsuda, who I love Jeff Matsuda's artwork. This is before Mutant X.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
X Factor was canceled and renamed Mutant X.
Nobody told Howard Mackie, and if you look at the ads of X Factor 149, this is why letter pages are important. It says, coming next month, we get to find out where Havoc is, but there was no X Factor 150. There was Mutant X number 1. It's really interesting. And the material of X-Men Prime is not part of Onslaught. No, it's the aftermath of Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's the reintroduction of all of the characters back after Age of Apocalypse. But it sets up the X-Men Prime is the stuff that sets up a lot of the stuff that's eventually going to come ahead.
And it does start. They start teasing the idea of this powerful being named Onslaught, and yeah, sure enough, it's really interesting because the chat keeps asking about this. Yes, Mutant X happens after X Factor 149. But Peter David's series was renumbered. So I wonder if that stuff will be modern epics, the X Factor Investigations. But it will eventually go back to a legacy number. Like it'll be a number 1 X Factor, right? On the miniseries. And then I think with issue 50 it was renumbered. No, 51 was renumbered to like 200. Yeah. Enough for 2 epics for Mutant X. As a matter of fact, there are 2 complete collections available. Yep.
But I can't remember if one of them's out of print already. But yeah, that has been collected. That series was fun at the beginning, and then it just kind of got, it was like I was tired of being in that world. It's like I don't need to be here anymore, so
Don't
I
need to
gave
be
up
here.
on it.
I liked it. I thought it was fresh and
Well,
it was
and
Howard
I liked
Mackie.
it at the beginning. Yep, and Tom Rainey, I think, was the artist on that, right? He was really
Yes,
good.
at the beginning. Will Mutant X be collected in Classic X Factor? That is the question. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine them doing 2 epic collections of just Mutant X. Maybe they'll be like X Factor Volume 12 and 13, and then move over to Modern Epic.
I mean, if they just want to keep on extending the numbers, and if they rebrand those just as X Factor Epics, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I think they'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, because it does feature the character of Havoc, right? And when is the Legion Quest epic coming? Is there a Legion Quest epic for X Factor? The stuff
That would have been in the previous volume, and volume 9 would have been that era, because this is the dividing point with Age of Apocalypse right here.
I don't
But
think
Legion Quest, like the X-Men. Yeah. I think we've got 2 more books on the schedule here. Should we move on to the next one?
Of course, I'm sure everybody else wants to. Sure, let's do it. Then we'll do a recap.
Okay, X-Force Epic Collection Volume 4, Toy Soldiers. Collecting X-Force 27 to 39, plus X-Force Annual 3, and Cable 6 to 8, New Warriors 45 and 46. This is an interesting one because we've seen a lot of people trying to guess the mapping for X-Force, and I don't think anybody included Cable 6 to 8 in their mapping. I can't remember or not, but so that's it's kind of interesting. Numbers Cable 1 to 4 was in volume 3, and we're missing issue number 5, and now we get Cable 6 to 8, which means they're only putting the Cable issues in that are appropriate to the story. People were also wondering, will all of Cable be collected in the X-Force epics? I think the answer is no, since they skipped issue 5.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. I think Cable will probably have its own epic. So they're not following the same mapping of the Cable and X-Force complete collections or trades. I don't think they're doing that. But this is a very exciting era. I love this era of X-Force. I know, 90s books get thrown in the mix with bad comics, but there's some good in there, including X titles. Like I really enjoyed this era. This is Fabian Nicieza. We had just lost Greg Capullo to Image Comics. Some guy named Todd McFarlane said, "Hey, that guy draws real pretty. I bet he could draw Spawn." But that's okay because we got Tony Daniel coming in as the next artist. And holy crap, he was good. So good that some guy named McFarlane also said, "Hey, that guy draws pretty. Bet he could draw one of these Spawn books." But that doesn't happen until after this run. So in here, you have the Child's Play crossover because that's the New Warriors. That's when the upstarts were targeting mutants and gathering points, and again, Fabian Nicieza. But that's not the only time the New Warriors show up in here. They guest star for a while, and they'll be part of the next volume, volume 6. But Moonstar shows back up. You have the whole mystery with like the new Mutant Liberation Front. Shatterstar Origins gets really confusing because they introduced this character named Extreme, Adam X the Extreme. Forever the third Summers brothers to a lot of us. And the Phalanx Covenant, actually, they play a part in the Phalanx Covenant, which I think is part of the reason why Cable 6 through 8 is in here. If I'm thinking Phalanx Covenant was 38, right? Anybody that's watching, is that right? Phalanx Covenant?
But that's not the right Cable issue. Cable crossed over with Wolverine.
That's right. It was,
you're right, but this one should have had the X Factor and Excalibur issues to go along with the Phalanx Covenant, but they decided not to put those in here. They gave us the Cable issues instead. This Cable story is It's the one I think it's the one where they write into continuity that he's the child of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, right?
Okay, so that's Fabian's story, wrapping up that end game, right? Like what happened to the baby when it went to the future. Aaron Weisenfield did the artwork in that, in if I'm not mistaken, for these issues, except for maybe like issue number 6. That was Dwayne Turner. Yeah, Fathers and Sons. That's what it's called. Yeah, and Cable 16 is Phalanx. Thank you for that, Bob. The fourth Summers brother. We don't talk about Vulcan. Although Vulcan grew on me, especially when it was tied into the cosmic universe. Yeah. Wasn't Adam X revealed to be part of the Summers family in a mini? It was the X-Men. What was it? The X-Men Forever line? What was that line called? X-Men Legends? Where Fabian got to keep writing the story. Brett Booth did the artwork in there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was recently one of the
lot of X
titles.
books, man. The X books are getting some love, baby. I'm here for it. X-Force, Excalibur, Uncanny X-Men, and what else?
X Factor.
And X Factor. Yeah. 4 books. It's great.
Yeah.
If you're an X-Men, right? If you're an X-Men.
Okay, one more on the list. And it is Marvel 2-in-1 Epic Collection Volume 3, Remembrance of Things Past. Marvel 2-in-1,
so
37. Yeah, 37 to 52. Marvel 2-in-1 Annual 2 to 4. 3 annuals in there. And Avengers Annual number 7. So there we go. They're, after a big delay of getting Volume 2, now we're getting Volume 3 in back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
They're both coming out in January.
So there's a little bit, honestly, I think it's a good mix, right? You have modern epics, you've got stuff from the 90s, but you've got classic stuff in there and a bunch of gap fillers. So I'm so glad. First of all, that Marvel 2-in-1, that's another one kind of like the Silver Surfer book that we talked about years ago. No. I sent you the files that they sent me, and then David said, "Hey, don't announce that yet," and we never announced it. And
we didn't.
Now we're having a Volume 3. So yeah, there we go. Damn, I was hoping for more Deadpool and Venom. Really?
Well, we helped you with Deadpool.
Yeah, you got some of Deadpool in there. So at this moment, if you live in Europe and you're interested in buying any of these books, check out Walt's Comic Shop. They're based out of Berlin, Germany, and they have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books, flat shipping rates of €12 for all EU countries. And tell them Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a free shipping after your first order of over €40 or more. And that's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ting. And yeah, that is the show. No Punisher again. No Punisher. Surprised no modern Spider-Man. That's the one that surprised me. I was pretty sure we would start the modern Spider-Man era in well, I guess we still have time in 2025.
It will have to be in 2025 at the very earliest at this point.
And there's a whole
we got a double cover. That's right. Forgot about that.
Thing faces Thanos, the power of the Cosmic Cube, and Project Pegasus debuts. And a little bit of a recap that Curtis has put together. So November, December, and January right there. Star Wars original Marvel years, Thor 10, Amazing Spider-Man 28, Captain America 16. And that you put an asterisk by the reprints, right?
Yep.
Omar, when are you announcing the next match? Dude, you were doing so well, Tall Dork and Ginger. Now you done messed up. Oh, I'm sure
we're probably not going to get more announcements until, because we've just done 6 months now.
Yeah.
Probably like June or July, something around there.
I'm hoping in June, like last year. I think it was around June whenever you and I did it, because I was leaving out of the country. But yeah, let's quickly do a recap of everything. So these are the books we've announced. August, Aliens, the original Marvel, or the original year, sorry. 2, Daredevil 19, Incredible Hulk 15, Namor the Submariner number 4, Venom 7, Venom Modern Era 6, Star Wars, see, Kanan, right?
Star Wars Kanan. Yep, Kanan.
Modern Era Volume 1, Deadpool and Cable Modern Era Volume 1, and Fantastic Four 10, Generation X 4, Incredible Hulk 1, Star Wars The Rebellion 6, Deadpool 5, Spider-Man Deadpool Modern Era 2, and Venom Modern Era 1 in September. October brings us Captain America Modern Era 2, Daredevil Modern Era 3, Ghost Rider Volume 2, Iron Man 22, Moon Knight 5, Incredible Hulk 20, Fantastic Four 1, and Star Wars New Republic. And there we go. November brings us Star Wars Original Marvel Years, Droids and Ewoks, Thor 10, and Amazing Spider-Man 28. Oh, maybe that's what he meant. Star Wars The Original Marvel Years, Epic Collection, Volume. They give us a volume number with that one. Is it 8?
They didn't give us a volume number. They I don't think they're putting a volume number on that one.
But it is
because it's.
I thought when we announced it previously, we did have them.
We didn't have a number for that one either. The information that they gave us didn't include a number. So that one, I think they're just calling it
Spider-Man Epics. Did I promise Spider-Man related books? Because that's Spider-Girl and Amazing Spider-Man still counts, right?
That's 2. Where's the third one?
In the previous batch.
In the previous batch.
Yeah.
There are 3 Spider-Man epics this year, though. There's Clone Saga Volume 1 and Clone Saga Volume 2, plus the Big Apple Battleground.
So in December, Hawkeye 4, New Avengers Modern 2, Star Wars Empire 2, X-Men 10, Excalibur 5, Iron Man Modern Era 4, Silver Surfer 8. January of 2025 brings us Blade 2, Marvel 2-in-1, 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Modern Era 2, Thor Modern Era 2, X Factor 10, X-Force 4, and Iron Man 13. So I will say that you're talking about the Fallen Angels, New Mutants. That was in the solicits, and it was bumped out. So it was going to be here in this batch, but it was bumped out to a later date. Not necessarily it was canceled because it was never solicited, right? You all just knew about it because of our streams, but they decided to put it at a later date. There's a Spidey annual in that Avengers book. Would that be the first appearance of Monica Rambeau? Or do you think they should add it?
Yeah, it is. The Spider-Man annual is the first appearance.
Any hope for an X-Men Volume 18? Is that past Executioner song? What would 18 be? I need New Mutants Omnibus Volume 4, as I do as well. So let's look at the covers really quick, and then I want to ask everybody in the chat like I normally do, and then my wonderful co-host again. Thank you, Kurtis, for putting this together. Okay, so here's the covers again. New Republic 8, Deadpool and Cable Modern 1, and Captain America Volume 16, Star Wars Epic Collection, Droids and Ewoks, Web of Life, Web of Death, which is Volume 28 of Amazing Spider-Man. Annual, let's see, was there an annual? No annual one. No, Amazing Annual. Yeah, it is in there. That's the first appearance of Monica Rambeau.
That's right.
And Avengers Epic Collection Volume 13, Thor Epic 10. So a lot of good classic stuff too. Spider-Girl Modern Epic 5, heck yes. Star Wars Darth Vader Modern Epic 1. And in December is the Star Wars Legends Empire Volume 2. And Hawkeye Epic 4. And Modern Era New Avengers Civil War. This is Volume 2. Iron Man Modern 4. Yes, finally back. Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 8. Herald Ordeal. Excalibur Epic Collection Volume 5. X-Men Epic Collection 10. Oof. January gives us Volume 13 of Iron Man. And Blade, the Epic Collection Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Modern Volume 2. Thor Modern Epic Collection Volume 2. X Factor Epic Collection 10. X-Force Epic Collection 4. And Marvel 2-in-1 Epic Volume 3. What is your number one? Everybody that is watching, what is your number one favorite announcement today? And I'm sorry if you didn't enjoy any of it. We are just the messengers. But I'll start with you, Curtis. What's the book that you're most excited for? And then I'll go through the chat here and see what they think. What's the epic collection that just you're so excited for?
Well, I think purely from a gap filling perspective,
Sure.
I'm really excited about Thor 10. But like I said, the content is not the best. I am really looking forward to X-Men 10 and Silver Surfer 8.
So you got 3 choices. I said 1. The
Okay,
math
fine.
ain't mathing.
My number one is I think X-Men 10.
X-Men 10. That's a good choice, buddy. And for me, oh, you're right. There are so many. This was a fun round of announcements. I'm sorry people didn't have fun, but I had a blast with these because there's just so much good out of every era. Normally I'd go with this X-Men 10. Yes, that is amazing. I'm all for it. I'm happy that people get to read it for the first time. I'm glad that the Silver Surfer Herald is back, but this is the book I'm most excited for. Spider-Girl Modern Era Volume 5. More Ron France, more Tom DeFalco. This is such a phenomenal run. If you haven't read it, it's just pure joy. And I'm so glad that they're continuing. And I'm so glad that, I'm sure the sales of Spider-Girl Complete Collection weren't the best, but I'm glad that they're giving it another chance with the modern era. And I hope they finish it out. There should be one more to wrap up this era, like you said, and I'm all here for it. Yeah, collecting issue 68 through 84. Let me go back to the chat and see what most people are excited about. Wow, just scrolling through here, I see a lot of Spider-Man or X-Men. So X-Men 10, of course. Let me go back to the dates that we had here. X-Men 10, of course. Spider-Girl, X-Men 10, Marvel 2-in-1, Stearns Avengers, X-Men 10, Avengers 13, X-Men 10, X-Men 10, X-Men 10, X-Factor Epic Collection, X-Men 10, Darth Vader from me and X-Men 10, Avengers 13, X-Men 10, Warren, you do got good taste. Hawkeye 4, X-Men 10, definitely X-Factor, X-Men 10 from me, Venom Modern Era. Did we announce that?
Modern Era 6 is from the previous announcements.
From the previous batch.
Coming in September or October, I think.
Where is my buddy Phil? Phil, are you here? Avengers 13, Droid and Ewoks, X-Force, Silver Surfer, X-Men, even though I own everything in it. X-Men 10. It's that good, though. Blade 2, what's up, Max? Marvel 2-in-1, so many good books. I guess it's bread and beans and water for the rest of the year. Surfer 8, 2-in-1, 3 X-Men. Night Nurse.
Oh, yeah, we need a Night Nurse Epic Collection.
Well, okay. Do we? Spider-Girl Modern Epic. Marvel 2-in-1. Quasar. You one day. Probably Silver Surfer and X-Force. Silver Surfer all day, every day. Stark Wars reprint for me. Spider-Girl. Yes. Avengers. The Human Fly Volume 1. Not in this one. Love that Surfer announcements. Let's get some Warlock. That's it. Sleepwalker and Quasar. I like that. X-Men 10 is possibly the peak of Claremont's X-Men, and I read from my ashes till it fell apart. So I'm happy to have this. What people beefing about? Some great stuff here. I survived. Phil, what are you most excited for? I swear.
I bet Phil is most excited for Marvel 2-in-1. That's what.
Oh,
I think
that's a classic. Love Darth Vader and Thor 2. Nothing jumping out at me, which makes me sad, but my wallet happy. One more epic for Spider-Girl. Yes, just none for me. I'm an Omni-Man mainly, but I'm happy about Uncanny X-Men. And for those that have been waiting for the Silver Surfer epic, pass on these for me. There's only a few epic volumes I want. None of them were announced in the last few videos. Sorry for that, James. Thor and Surfer. Quick question for those who knows. How many Simonson's FF epics are there? 2, right?
There are 1.5 technically, yes, but
but you can't
into the time stream, and then the first half of the new Fantastic Four.
And I'm excited about Avengers 13. As for Spider-Girl, we have 85 through 100. Plus maybe there's enough to. You're saying 3 more epics, 68 stories.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Girl was 30 issues. And then, oh wow, yeah, there's a lot more.
I guess there's more for 3. Yeah. Hi guys, I'm here for Iron Man Epic 22. Can they include the final 2 issues of Force Works? Shame to leave those 2 orphaned. Maybe we can ask. About those. Spider-Girl 5. I'm trying to think of Force. That's the post-crossing, right? Thor 10. Marvel 2. And what is up, Graham? How are you, buddy? I'm an Avengers guy, but that's a tad disappointing. They skipped Volume 12. Oh, well. Can't win them. You're getting the beginning of Uncle Roger's run. X-Men 10. Silver Surfer. 3 modern Star Wars announced. Looks like similar rate to the classic ones, but not as much materials as the classics, thankfully. Spider-Girl. And would be nice. Don't forget to come and vote. Curtis and I will be doing a live stream, and we'll kick off the reprint poll live. Trying to decide modern Star Wars epics or swapping my trades. Excalibur. You, Phil Owens. You or Phil. Is Phil still here? Silver Surfer is my number 1. Iron Man. Want my damn Night Nurse. Oh, you weren't kidding. You do want Night Nurse. Amazing Spider-Man 28. Spider-Girl 5. With a black suit, Spider-Man in epic. Sleepwalker would be great. Spider-Girl 6 be the final ball. Well, apparently not. Could have used more. There's way too much Spider-Girl content for just one more epic. I'm so glad you all reminded me. I forgot about that Amazing Spider-Girl series, honestly. So, yeah, let them come. Let them come. X-Men 10, Marvel 2 and 1, Avengers 13, and Thor 10. There we go. X-Men 10, Spider-Man 28, Spider-Girl Modern 5, Star Wars Droids, Star Wars Vader, Star Wars New Republic, and Iron Man Modern 4. Will the droids and Ewoks epics have the crossover in the right order? Dark Horse had them away from each other. I have no idea how these are going to be mapped. Although they have been remapped from the releases of the Dark Horse era. Avengers 13 is the winner. Is Captain America Fallen Sun collected in any Omnis? No, it is not. That you're talking about the miniseries. No, it is not. Thank you guys.
But it will be in an epic collection.
Shut it. Weird. There's a Cable and Deadpool epic line before classic Cable. Yep, that is weird. But it will come, I'm sure. Fraction Iron Man, because I mean, you can find there's so much. Well, they don't have to start there at the beginning. I was gonna say there's so much double dipping with those X-Force epics. Fraction Iron Man seems like we might actually be able to own the whole thing. Amazing Spider-Man 28, Spider-Girl 5, and still no Iron Man Epic Collection 12. Is that a big gap filler? Is that one of the big gap fillers?
Yeah, I mean it's it's the last volume of the Denny O'Neil run, in which we've had the first 2 for like 10 years.
Philip is saying the Force Works issues may well be in the Avengers epic, The Crossing. And Omni-Man. Hype for Cable and Deadpool. Omar, have you ever done an overview of Captain America by Mark Waid Omnibus? I couldn't find one. What do you think of that run? Oh, it's a stellar run. Now, I will say, I liked Before Heroes Reborn and Heroes Return. I love that. Ron Garney and Mark Waid. And they came back after Heroes Reborn, the same creative team, but it just didn't feel the same. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's still Mark Waid. It's still Captain America. It's still Ron Garney on art. It just didn't feel the same because this is after Mark Gruenwald's run, right? Mark Waid took over. I never did because that one's been out of print for so many years. And mine, I think I had to fix mine. Mine, because they all came with bad binding. Can't go wrong with Marvel 2 and 1. Is Marvel 2 and 1 that good? Never read any. Oh, it's so fun. I love it. If you like The Thing, if you like the Fantastic Four, it's just fun to see him go through the Marvel universe and what kind of guest stars appear there.
You have to really like 70s Marvel, I think, and understand 70s Marvel in order to really enjoy it. But then also the end of volume 3 is the introduction to Project Pegasus, and volume 4 is will be a great volume just in general. Really, really strong.
They're not wrong. Sleepwalker. Love this huge batch. All the classic epics for me. Thor, Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Hawkeye, X-Men, Excalibur, Surfer, Blade, 2 and 1, X-Factor, X-Force, plus grabbing new Avengers to replace the OHCs. You're replacing OHCs? We need to talk, Peter. What is wrong with you?
Superior format. Yep. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. All right. You already got 2 strikes there. Earth 2, Curtis. Wolverine Modern Epic. To me, I think that would kick off with Greg Rucka. I think that would kick off the modern epic.
Yeah.
Vote for Wade's captain on the reprint poll. Yes, our reprint poll, which I'll be doing with Peter, will go live next Thursday, the 15th, February 15th at 1 p.m. So make sure you're watching, and we'll show you how to vote. And I'll leave the polls open for like 7 days. Then I give that. You're dead to me, Peter. I need new co-hosts.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
Epics all the way. Team Curtis. Why are we starting this nonsense? Who doesn't love 70s Marvel? Oh, let's not start with those answers. Any chance we'll see new omnibus to finish up the Greg Pak run in OHC of some Iron Man stuff? Finish up the Greg Pak, like his run on Hulk, you mean? Some Iron Man stuff from Dennis O'Neil, Volume 2, Michelini Layton. And a Kaminsky fraction or Cantwell for Iron Man. Oh, that would be great. Silver Surfer volume. So good to see you here, Joe Cool. Hope you've been well, brother. Thor and Silver Surfer are the ones I'm looking forward to. OHC is the best format. Rest in peace. I don't think they do them hardly anymore. Bring back Essentials. Team D. Is this Josh with another? I've never heard anyone ask for bring me back the Essentials. Question for the Marvel historians. There was a lot of story through annuals in the 90s, but in Marvel 2-in-1 Avengers with Thanos' death, the first time they did it. Oh, you mean like crossing from one annual to another?
Like an annual crossover?
That was one of the early ones. I'm trying to think.
That's a good question. I don't know if it's the
what
first.
Other ones. That's how they got people to buy the annual sometimes. Maybe somebody in the chat will know. That is a good question. I would love to see a pack. Well, okay, we're talking about epics. Smash that like button. Thank you. Why do you think Joe Fixit Mini wasn't in the Peter David? Oh, because I don't think he was done with it, and they did not make the room. So hopefully we'll get a volume 6 one day, because that man has so many stories to write. FF Marvel 2-in-1. Oh,
that's the crossover. Yeah, there was a crossover annual Fantastic Four annual and Marvel 2-in-1 annual #1 crossover. That would obviously predate the Marvel 2-in-1 annual 2 crossover. But was there stuff before that? I don't know.
I think both of the Phils would probably know. They write everything down in spreadsheets.
This is one of the Phils right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Where is ROM? ROM is available in omnibus format right now. Don't miss out on ROM, please.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for the sellout. There's definitely a sellout period for all books before they introduce it in a different format. So they need to make sure that they are going to sell the majority of their omnis before introducing it in a superior format.
So there's a fair. Thank you, Peter. This Crushing Crisis, again, who has a great mapping website. It's amazing. And I heard a rumor that he may be coming back to YouTube, which would be great to see his face. Yeah, there's a fair bit of 2-part annual stories in the 80s, especially for Avengers and Fantastic Four. Before that, Marvel cotton on and made it officially a crossover thing each year. Oh, yeah, because they sold well. Still no new Punisher. Nope, Frank hasn't come back yet. Maybe the next time.
2 years at least. I think it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah, for new reprint last year, right? We announced the reprint and it came out. Yeah, I would love to see more collections of Punisher, War Journal, and the classic stuff too. Yeah. Today would have been a good day to announce Modern Era Epic Collection Miss Marvel. Her 10th anniversary was on February 5th.
Oh,
well, look at James celebrating all these birthdays. I didn't know about that.
That would have been good. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get that for when the movie came out too, when the Marvels came out.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know why? Yeah, I don't know why. Honestly,
don't know why.
Yeah, so we will see. We will see.
Maybe it's because I don't know if because they announced Miss Marvel New Normal as or No Normal. What is that volume called? As one of the evergreen trades. So I don't know if that means that it won't be in Epic collections for a long while.
Ooh, yes, Carl Potts Punisher Omnis. Love that era of the Punisher. Would a new Warriors Epic collection trade collect the Thor issues or Speedball series? I would think so, yeah. They seem to be more complete. God Loves, Man Kills, the greatest Marvel comic book of all time. And coming to you, finally, in Epic format. It's been available in Masterworks, Omnis, Essentials. The Essentials collected? I didn't make it that far. and in many trade paperbacks. Okay. David Gabriel hates Kamala Khan is the only conclusion that makes. My gosh, what are you doing? Always an instigator. You can fill in the blank with Kamala Khan and say Punisher, Darkhawk, Sleepwalker, same thing.
Amazing Spider-Man 13. I mean 16.
16. Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man 16.
But I just want to thank you all for joining us. That was the show for today. And, this is a lot of fun. Thank you to my wonderful co-host. Where can people find you, Kurtis?
Well, I am at epicmarvelpodcast.com, and I know I've been slack on the podcast episodes lately, but I'll be getting back into that. And I actually, my podcast is hosted by the Thunderquack Podcast Network, and they're doing a pledge drive right now just to get a couple of people on to help pay for the hosting costs and stuff like that. And so he's asked me to do some exclusive Patreon episodes. And so I did one where I did a audio commentary for the first episode of the cartoon series Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which I love. I love that cartoon. So
that was a fun cartoon.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do one of those every month, I think, and as a Patreon exclusive, so you can check that out over at Thunderquack Podcast Network. And I work for Clover Press, and we just announced while we were on the live stream that we're going to be kickstarting a brand new edition of Tim Sale's first graphic novel called Billy 99, which was published by Dark Horse originally in 1991. And we're doing a Kickstarter to raise the money to hire Jose Villarrubia to color it. It was originally in black and white. We're going to do a full color copy. This is in partnership with the writer Sarah Byam and also Tim Sale's widow Susan Bailey. So it's we're very excited about this. It's going to be a very, very cool looking book, and I get to design the cover, which is kind of cool too.
Dude, this is amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. And Jose Villarrubia, if you're not familiar with his work, he's the gentleman that's recoloring the Richard Corbin library. He did the amazing,
doing a great job too. They look absolutely beautiful. He's not recoloring them; he's just restoring them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's insane the amount of work he puts into. He did the Absolute Swamp Thing, the Bernie Wrightson and Len Wein era. He did the first issue of Conan. He loves this stuff. Loves it. Yeah. And yep. I'm excited for that. I'd love to actually interview him. Because he's a nice guy. I've actually talked to him when I was at New York Comic Con. He was like, "Yeah, just hit me up." I know he was going to be working on that though. That would be really cool. So everybody go check him out. You're still looking for a hardcover, a good hardcover? God Loves Man Kills. Well, like I said, if you don't mind the censored derogatory term, the gallery edition is out, and it can also be found in Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3. It's been released in a standard size hardcover, the Marvel Premiere hardcovers, which they don't make anymore. But yeah, so you can own it that way.
Great.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Check out cheapgraphicnovels.com. They're based out of the United States. If you live here in the U.S., you need a place to go and pre-order these books when they come available for pre-order. Smash that like button on the way out. And, tell Cheap Graphic Novels Near Mint Condition sent you their way. I will be back later this afternoon. The Astonished Melanie and I are interviewing Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. So it's a couples interviewing couples video. That will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Near Mint Condition. Thank you, everybody. Smash that like button on the way out. Have a great day. And we are